Hey, John, how are you? I'm Fernando with FabTV.
Hey, Fernando, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. My question is, as a director, when all that physicality involving Emily the criminal, let's just say you had to do a scene again where she looks like she has gotten hurt, how do you massage and tell your actor, like, we got to do it one more time?
You ask really nicely. Well, the first thing you do is you cast Aubrey Plaza, who you don't have to ask to do it a second time. She's going to want to do it a second time, and a third time, and a fourth time, and a fifth time, and you eventually have to tell her to stop doing it and move on. She's incredibly determined and just like without fear. And that was a privilege, man. So that's my first tip. Cast Aubrey Plaza.
Okay, of course. I love Aubrey. She's awesome.
Yeah.
My quote was Ingrid goes criminal.
Okay, yeah, we'll take that. Yeah.
Right. There's something about Aubrey that, like, it's in her eyes or something. She's like the female Daniel Kaluuya. She sells it so well in everything she does. What made you did you actually cast her, by the way? That's actually my question. Did you cast her, or how did you guys get her?
I gave the script to a friend of mine just for notes. I was like, hey, can you give me feedback? And he read it and he called me and he was like, yo, I know Aubrey Plaza and she would dig this. Let me send it to her. And I was like, okay. I thought that was kind of a weird idea, to be honest. And then he sent it to her and she read it and she reached out to me and was like, hey, I want to meet. And and then I got kind of excited. I started thinking about it and I was like, oh, maybe it would be cool with her. And then I met her in real life and she's so different than what I was expecting. She's so much more complex and there's so many more colors that I just, for whatever reason, wasn't expecting to see. And it redefined the whole movie for me. She has a great, like, she's so focused and aggressive and just goes for what she wants. And I thought, how appropriate, how appropriate for this character. So that's the story with Aubrey.
No doubt. This story, I think it has to do with a lot of truth about humanity or the way we are. I think sometimes we get pushed into situations. This film looks like had a real job and did everything right and just got pushed and pushed and pushed into going into this life of crime. So there's a lot of truth behind your writing. So is that part of how you wrote this? Because we get pushed into doing things we don't want to do sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, no. I mean, I wanted to be kind of grounded and relatable. I wanted us to find ourselves in her, I didn't want to watch someone who's like elite and special somehow. Like I wanted to watch someone who's like, no, this could be me in this situation in some universe. Because I wanted audiences to be like with her at every decision point and for us to feel like we too are making that same decision. That was important.
When I was younger, under 18, I had to make money and I made fake IDs, like the best here in
Nice.
Southern California, in order to make it.
Yeah.
Did you ever do anything like that? You had to do something in order to make it? I know
Yeah.
it's a tough question. I'm just saying.
No, it's all good. We could talk about fake IDs. That could be swear I've never had one of those. Yeah, well, what's funny is that when I was like 19, I was just broke as a joke, and I saw this ad online that said like, hey, want to make $200 in an hour, go to this location. The location was like a Holiday Inn Express off the side of the highway in South Carolina, which is where I live. And I was like, this sounds like an opportunity. And I put a suit on, which is the funniest part of the story. And then I went to the place, and it was like a buffet room at the Holiday Inn, and this guy came out and started pitching like a multi-tier marketing scheme, like a pyramid scheme. And I just was like, oh, never mind, and got up and left. But I've always wondered like what would have happened had I stayed, because that on another day I might have stayed if I'd felt a little more, I don't know, risky. So yeah, I've come pretty close in the past to indulging in some questionable stuff.
Right. Okay. Well, I was wondering because you got to bring it from something from your past to, like, you go into those multi-level marketing meetings that almost look like it in one of your scenes. Everyone's sitting there going, okay, let's listen to this.
Yeah. Well, I think when you don't have a lot of money and you have a lot of expenses, you just find yourself indulging in the weirdest stuff that like other people just wouldn't, couldn't, like, whether it's like cheaping out with like, parking, or whether it's considering doing a job that where your parents are like, really? Like, I just feel like you are broke long enough and you get really scrappy and resourceful. And, you know, I wanted to create like the ultimate one of those characters.
That's what my last question is going to be. That is, the power of broke is what makes you do things you probably wouldn't want to do, and you end up doing them to survive. I guess that's what your film is about.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't really have anything, you have nothing to lose, you know. And I mean, so many other people know that reality much better than I do, but it's a reality that I've touched and sampled a couple of times, and I empathize, and I wanted to make a movie about it. So there you go.
Got it. Great talking to you, John. Well done. I loved it, and especially having Aubrey in it. It's like a awesome piece.
Oh man, I appreciate that so much. Thank you, man.
What happened to your arm? Was that from making new stuff?
Yeah, this is from working the credit card machine. No, I was hoping a friend leave a box and I'd sprain my wrist. So there you go.
Welcome to FabTV. Look at Hollywood's latest.